jail. Coast Guard takes it real serious. Don't do it. Probably not too much of an issue on this particular boat, but there's also no smoking or vaping on board. We got a lot of fuel down below. We might want you to have a blast, but we don't want you to have that kind of a blast. So no smoking. And the vaping is just, it's not good for you either. You know, consideration, right? That's what I was talking to somebody about yesterday. Popcorn lung is a real thing. Just don't do it. I don't care if it smells like watermelon or not. Finally, I gotta tell everybody about life jackets. This is a life jacket, only one on board. Bidding begins at $1,000. Oh, I got a lot of takers. You guys are paying my student loans this month. No, calm down, don't worry. We have enough for everyone. The adult sizes are underneath your seats. Do not touch them. Do not take them out. Do not mess with them. It is against the law. The Coast Guard will get you for that too. You only need these in events of emergency, and we're not going to need them. If you happen to be real young, just real skinny, 90 pounds or under, we've got child-sized jackets in the back as well. My best friend up here, you might need one. I do still need to explain this for you just in case. A lot of folks don't encounter these. It's real simple. You unhook the strap, spread the arms, put your head through the hole, take the strap around your back, reattach, and pull it tight. I will do a quick demonstration for any visual learners. They seem to be listening to their tour guide. This is what I get for making friends before we left. All right, now, I do want to talk about what's going on in here, because we're going to sit here for a few minutes, and some of you might be like, what are we doing? Why are we doing this? We have to. It's the only way to get onto the river, right? So this is going to work kind of like a giant bathtub. They're just ducks. You have ducks in Michigan. It's not a new species. All right, well, I'm just going to keep talking for anyone who's going to listen. All right, the parents are like, please go. So this is going to work like a giant bathtub. There's locks all over the world. Panama Canal, Suez Canal, all along the St. Lawrence Seaway. This one's kind of small, and it's gravity fed. So it's literally just water moving from a higher point to a lower point, draining like a bathtub. So the tub is full. They're turning off the faucet by closing the gates behind us. Then they're going to pull the plug by cracking open the gates at the front there. And we're going to slowly lower down to the height of the river. There are no pumps that make this work. It is purely gravity moving the water through the chamber. I think it's super cool, but I'm also a big nerd when it comes to this kind of engineering and stuff. Now, this lock was actually built in the 1930s, the late 1930s, by the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers and the Metropolitan Water Reclamation District. They built it as a way to regulate water flow from the lake to the river, east to west. I know. That is the direction that it flows now, but that is not normal. That is not original. Normally, smaller bodies of water will flow out into larger ones because of that gravity, right? Bigger bodies are deeper, liquid seeks a lower point. That's how it was originally in Chicago when the white Europeans started coming to the area, mostly French. Unfortunately, things did start to change. Late 1800s, Chicago was one of the fastest growing cities in the world. Thousands of people moving here every month, lots of industry. With lots of people and lots of industry, there's going to be a lot of waste. And unfortunately, we didn't really have anywhere to put that waste except for the river. So we were dumping our trash into the river, our sewage into the river, runoff from all of the industry like oil and other sludge into the river, and it would all wash out into the lake. We were also the meatpacking capital of the world in the late 1800s. So there was a huge slaughterhouse district along the south branch of the river called the Stockyards. I don't know if you're at the right age yet, but at some point there's a chance you may read Upton Sinclair's The Jungle for school. I had to read it. Fantastic book. A little bleak, but still fantastic. Talks about the stockyards and the conditions in the slaughterhouses, unsanitary and unregulated. So the slaughterhouses were dumping animal leftovers into the river and would wash to the lake. Fat, blood, carcasses, all the parts of animals that could be turned into food. Hot dogs hadn't been invented yet. Chicago-style hot dogs you don't have to worry about. Those are Vienna all-beef franks. They're fine. No ketchup, though. That's a real thing. We can argue about it later. This seemed like a pretty big problem, right? We were sending all of this out, and that's pollution, and that's bad, but the biggest problem with all of that nasty going out to the lake was that was where Chicago gets its drinking water, still to this day. But back then, we didn't have water purification, so all that icky, nasty, dirty, poop garbage water was getting pumped back in. People were just drinking it, cooking with it, bathing in it, getting things like cholera, typhoid, dysentery, not Ebola, that's a different continent. But basically, if you guys have ever played Oregon Trail on the computer, half the family would drink dirty water, they get dysentery and die. It's a very it's right now the right age range. And you'd be surprised, every so often I'll get kids, or at the very least the adults, like you know what I'm talking about. As long as one person remembers that game and how you had to survive off of squirrels. Anyway, I digress. This was a huge issue, and you figure the regular, obvious solution would simply be to stop dumping in the Chicago River? No, that would have been bad for business. All those companies were dumping for free. So everyone decided that the easy solution was simply to reverse the natural flow of the river. And it sounds pretty crazy to turn water around and send it the other way. Water is a force to be reckoned with. It's one of the strongest forces on the planet. The Colorado River carved the Grand Canyon over hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years, but still, water is amazing. Thousands. It's been there a long time. We decided that reversing the river was going to be easy, and it kind of was. The idea was simple. They were going to basically siphon water from the lake to the river, flush it south, make it somebody else's problem. Go Chicago! It started in 1889, and if you understand how a siphon works, which is basically like a hose, and there's one low end, suction on the low end gets it started, and then gravity does all the work. Chicago was basically digging the low end of that hose, the sanitary and ship canal, wider and deeper than the river thousands of dudes. Not this, no. The canal is way south. It's about 28 miles south of downtown. That's the end of the low end of the siphon. Yeah, what's up? Yeah, I know. I do this like 6 times a day. I don't need to look at it. You enjoy it. I got stuff to talk about. We'll get there, don't worry. So, they dig this giant hole, the low end of the siphon. Unfortunately, it took about 10 years for this to happen, and by the time they got the canal done, other people had started complaining about our plan. And we were actually sued because of where the water was going. You see, the canal connects the south end of the Chicago River to the Des Plaines River, which flows into the Illinois River, which then flows into the Mississippi, straight down to St. Louis, Missouri. I'm glad you guys are excited because St. Louis was real mad. They sued us, but the canal was done. So the Supreme Court ordered Chicago to leave our dam in place, holding the water back until they made a ruling. But we knew that they weren't going to rule in favor of Chicago. So in the middle of the night, the Chicago Police Commissioner snuck down to the dam before the ruling, planted dynamite, blew the dam. No permission, not allowed. But it did work. 4 hours later, St. Louis was granted an injunction, but it was too late. The deed was done. Water's been down to St. Louis ever since. St. Louis is fine, though. Don't worry.